Hello everyone, my name is Jean Maria, and today I'm going to talk about the book called The Home for Unwanted Girls. So it was written last year in 2018 by a Canadian author called Joanna Goodman. This is one of the few books that really make you think, and it makes you think even more about the lives of all those people. After you know this is all based on true events, that is very intense. Guys, prepare. What is the story about, basically? So, a little self-promotion here, not an ad, self-promotion. You can read more information on my website, readermaria.com. You guys should all check it out. I think it's pretty cool. And just share it. Worth sharing. First of all, the setting takes place in Canada, Quebec, in the 1940s to 1970s. Recently, a few months ago, I learned from the school that the Quebec, Canada people wanted to move from Canada and create their own French-speaking country. And they almost succeeded in that. So these events really affected the lives of the main characters. The main characters themselves are Maggie, Gabriel, Elodie, and some others. Maggie is half French, half English girl that lives in Quebec. She's 15 years old and she's really crushing on that boy from the neighborhood. Soon she's pregnant. From him. I know, crazy. But that's the way it is. Of course, back then, people really cared for their reputations. In 1950s, as you probably know, they cared about it more than they do even now. It was really important back then. So she couldn't keep the baby. And she had to give it to the orphanage, to the church. So a little girl with a pretty name of Elodie went to the church, orphanage. Just to clarify, from now on, the narration is from 2 points of view, from Elodie's and from Maggie's. Life in the orphanage was actually fine, and I heard that for some time, some years, 3 or 4 years or so, the girls even had access to normal education, and they had fun, and just lived as normal kids. And that was until 1957. So in 1957, what happened was, when Elodie was 7 years old, there was this thing called the Duplessis orphans. Basically what happened is that more than 20,000 orphans were falsely certified as mentally ill and placed in asylums. This happened because of the money only. The church got $275 for each mentally ill kid and only $1.25 for each orphan. And the church actually got huge incomes from this. So yeah, Joanna Goodman did touch very controversial topics like this. And there is a whole page in the Canadian history just for the Duplessis orphans. So on my website, I have some resources that you can look at. It's actually very interesting to research. And we should all remember our history to not repeat it again. As you might have understood, why I'm telling you this is because Elodie was falsely certified mentally ill. She was treated like one, and she was even given some very bad, for a normal person, medications that calm people down. And she was just a little kid. Why? That is bad. That is disgusting. Why would they do something like that? Also, during her stay in the asylum, she was beaten up multiple times, which is no surprise, of course, after you hear about the medication part. That was really bad experience for her, and I can't imagine. So during all those years, the mother, Maggie, tried reaching out to her daughter. She constantly regretted giving her to the church and not raising the daughter on her own. But still, she was quite lucky that the boy that was the father of Elodie, Gabriel Phoenix, actually loved her, and then they married each other. You know, that rarely happens with guys. Just saying. Together, they have been searching for their daughter for 24 years, and after all, they succeeded. It took them so long, not because the orphanage was in another city or country, but because it was really not profitable for nuns to tell parents where their children were. The system was really, really bad back then. The good thing about this book is that you don't really notice how time passes and you don't count pages down. You just read it. It's amazing. It really is interesting, and you don't get the feeling like, oh, come on. Why are you so slow? Just be faster. Come on, it's obvious. You don't get annoyed with characters, and that is good. The language also really describes the story and the characters really well. I drowned, literally. Probably some authors would give a lot to hear these words from their readers, but that's just the way it is. Food for thoughts. So I don't even know what to say here, but food for thoughts for Canadians. So why did people support Duplessis? What did he do that made so many Quebec people support him? I mean, everything I heard about him was bad. Why would you support him? Okay, so hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up and of course subscribe. Bye!